If he lands perfect throws right now, not only will this be first place in the Sleep 16, this will be a personal best.
This would be incredible, and it's Kano spin separating him from the first place prize.
All right, one more to go. Let's see if he gets the regrab.
PBing in a game you've played for years is hard. PBing in a live event with thousands of dollars on the line, extra so. Before we see if that third throw of Kano was successful, I want to catch you up on why that throw was so monumental. First, the game. Super Mario 64, one of the 4 or maybe 3 most important games in speedrunning history. A category with a history dating back to the early 2000s that has seen a serious resurgence in recent months, with PBs being set seemingly almost every week. I don't see a need to go through the nitty-gritty of the run here, but just know you get 16 stars, you backwards long jump your way to Bowser in the sky, and you throw him into bombs 3 times. Simple enough, right? Next, the event. The Sleep 16 Invitational. 15 of the best Super Mario 64 runners competing for $5,000 in an effort to raise money for Tackle Kids Cancer. 2 days of qualifiers and 2 days of finals, each day being 8-hour blocks of time given to each runner to get the best time they possibly can. And finally, the runners. On the first Saturday and Sunday, 2 days of play-ins took place, with the following 7 runners running on Saturday and these 7 on Sunday. The top 6 times from the 2 days would be moving on to the final, which took place on the following weekend. Now, let's take a look at the leaderboards as they stood at the start of this event. Quick note, when the event was announced, Suigi was the proud record holder of the category with a 1454, so he had the luxury of a bye for the play-ins, meaning he got to enjoy a cozy weekend of watching 14 other runners fight for their right to play him in the finals the following weekend. Back to the leaderboards, not counting Suigi, when the event began, there were only 6 humans in existence that had ever finished the category in under 15 minutes, and 3 of them were taking part in this event: Slippery Nip, Ouija, and Kano. Ouija was the world record holder when the event started, with Slippery Nip in second. Now, Vegas doesn't allow speedrunning bets yet, despite my numerous emails and calls to help make it so, but it would be safe to call these 3 men stone cold locks to make it to the final weekend. And sure enough, through day 1, Slip and Ouija were placed 1 and 2 on the leaderboards for around 410 minutes of the possible 480 minutes for that day 1. Ouija clutched a 15:05 for the best time of the day, with Slippery Nip not too far behind with a 15:12, which included probably the best BOJs of the day right here.
To make consistent what most runners assume is impossible. So you see right there, he kind of bumped against the wall. That was intentional. You might have thought that was like just a mistake, but Slip goes, no, I'm going to line up and try to set this up so that I can get this first try every time.
At the end of day 1, things look like this, with the 7 other runners chomping at the bit for their chance to get in the top 6 to play the awaiting Suigi the following weekend. Day 2 involved the following 7 legends, which included our boy Kano finally making his first appearance. Looking at the times from day 1 and comparing them with the PBs of the runners of day 2, one could expect Kano and GTM to make a strong push for the top 6. But after that, who knows? Well, it didn't take long for Kano, with a Kano pound happening just a few scant hours into the day.
Wow.
Yeah, there he is, for the fanfare.
The Kano pound.
Lots of time was still left in the day, of course, and that meant many, many more hype runs were left to become attached to. The next person that would provide one of said hype runs was fan favorite Binny. Though he is a man of few runs, choosing to start each day late and lots of time AFK practicing, Binny got a time just a few seconds behind his PB in his first real run after lots of hot and heavy resetting action. Kano, just a few hours later, had a chance at a run of legend, probably in the range of 15 minutes and just a few seconds. We were all on the edge of our seats for the next Kano pound after these insane BLJs. But then...
Exactly. Kano, for reference, Kano...
No!
Kano has the best bits of all time in a 16-star run. Unfortunately, that is very hard to pull off in a run. He nailed the hard part, and then he just unfortunately missed that the side flip.
After GTM put up a very nice 15:32 a bit later, our top 6 was now locked in. Joining Suigi in the finals were Ouija, Slippery Nip, Kano, GTM, Binny, and Flixer. Shoutouts are in order for all the runners that didn't make it, but especially to the 2 who missed by a mere second. Finals day 1. Everyone is back to the drawing board. All times cleared. All runners with 16 new hours over 2 days to stand tall on the wings of their dreams. In his first run of the day, Slippery Nip just went on an absolute tear and ended with a 15:15, just 3 seconds behind his qualifying time. In another first run of the day, Kano himself dropped a 15:22 that he then quickly improved to 15:14 to take over the top spot, to then only be bobbed back by Slippery Nip again with an amazing 15:09. It was Kano and Slip's world, and we were all just living in it there for a few hours. World record holder Ouija ensured things wouldn't get too stale, however, dropping the new top time, beating his previous best time of the tournament by 2 seconds with a statement, 15:03. The 14-minute mark was getting closer and closer, it seemed. Not wanting Ouija and Slip to be the only man with 15:0x's, Kano dropped his best time of the day, a 15:09. That could have been so much better had it not been for a few slip-ups. That temporarily popped Slip from second, but he was bopped back by Slip again, who also improved his time. Lots of drama left in the day to speak of, though. Former world record holder Suigi had a flair for the dramatic in his final run of the day. Suigi reminding all of us how recently he was the world record holder of this category, ripping that 15-minute mark down with a 14:59 in his final run of the day. But don't forget, even with day 1 over, the fun had just begun, because 8 hours remained for these runners to improve their times in hopes of taking home the top prize. Day 2 reset. At the top of the leaderboard was Suigi, Ouija, and Slippery Nip, all runners with personal bests higher than the man in 4th place, Kano. But this was the moment. If Kano was going to etch himself into the upper echelon of the top tier runner category, the time was now. If the leaderboards stayed the exact same way throughout day 2 of the finals, no one would have batted an eyelash. Did Kano have other ideas? The day started slow, nothing much changing on the leaderboards until just about 3 hours in, when our man Kano had himself a run to put him second on the leaderboards, 4 frames ahead of Ouija's time. But as you might have guessed, Ouija wasn't pleased with being third on the leaderboards for very long, and the current world record holder had other ideas.
And now the seconds tick away. It will not be world record, but...
What is it?
I believe this is going to be first place.
Pod.
And it is 14:57.7. By 2 seconds, Ouija is now in first place.
14:57, an absolute statement run by Ouija. In fact, a better run than Kano had ever achieved at that time. Key word here, at that time. Less than 3 hours left, and the leaderboard stood Ouija, Suigi, and our boy Kano in third. Was Ouija going to continue SMB 64 domination? Was Kano going to have to be satisfied with just finishing higher than Slippery Nip? Let's watch our man's run from his BLJs in this masterpiece.
All right, BLJ's moment of truth, as it always is. Let's see it.
Oh.
Well, second try perfectly caught, and
Near.
he's through there. We haven't seen a real PB this event. This could be the first.
Near instant BLJs and does get the speed to the stairs. On the third jump, he gets it, and he's in the hole. He's
Nice.
3.5 seconds ahead. One more to go. Let's see if he gets the
Done.
regrab. And ladies and gentlemen, just like that, Kano has gone 3 for 3. The magic has indeed shown itself here in the stream today. Kano, after skipping through all the text box, raising his fist, looking to the sky with glory, we are now going to see him leave with a new personal best of 14 minutes and 56 seconds.
He had done it, setting a new PB when it matters the most, but there still stood 3 hours left on the clock and 3 men with a realistic chance at bopping our boy. One of them took this challenge very seriously. With less than 2 hours left in the event, Ouija went to town. One of the cleanest runs of the entire event, he stayed on world record pace until the very end of the run.
Shrek, take it.
2. And finally, it all comes down to this throw. Oh, it's right left.
As has happened so many times in the history of speedrunning this game, Bowser throws spelled doom as the bomb did not go boom on the third throw, and after that, no one approached the king. King Kano, for the rest of the event, a champion he was and will be for the rest of time. Kano pound. I'm ALT Insider, that was GSA Sleep 16, and the winner's name is Kano. See you in the next one.